the season to kick off here. I assume that's a Jamal Charles jersey, though I don't know for sure.
Chances are.
Hopefully, perhaps a Christian Okoye jersey.
I don't know who that is.
Old running back for the Chiefs. He was gassed. The Nigerian Nightmare.
Well, he's probably good because he has that nickname. So that by itself is pretty good. It's a duress. We'll see a Putrefy, a Dreadboard, 2 copies of Sylvan Caryatid, and an Urborg.
So
for Glossner.
This is sort of duress / Thoughtseize proof this hand. Dayne's probably going to be able to just sort of establish a board here and then live off the top of his deck. Any Planeswalker's Jaw is going to be fantastic, but for the time being, he is a little light on action.
Glossner with that Urborg. Of course, he can play that. Start to develop his mana a little bit. I imagine that's what he's going to do. There's a Caryatid. Kick it back over to Reid. Again, Reid did win game number 1. He's got a Swamp. Does he have something like a Pack Rat to play? He does not. He'll just kick it back over to Glossner. Glossner draws a card. Don't have a great look at it. There's Llanowar Waste. And maybe a Xenagos. And it is. So the Reveler is here. And that means Satyr tokens are going to join it. And there's an attack for 2.
This is big time trouble for Mono Black Devotion. Even if Benjamin has a Hero's Downfall here ready to go, there's some protection against a future Edict effect. Dayne's got some pressure in play. And again, the top of his deck can be very good to him.
You can see that he does have a Hero's Downfall in hand, does Benjamin Reid. So again, he can take care of the Xenagos if he'd like, but then he's got to take care of the creature. Here's a Lifebane Zombie, so looking to hit, and he does, of course. He knows about the Sylvan Caryatid that's in hand. So Glossner just left with that Dreadbore. He will draw a card. It's a duress. He'd like to see what's going on. And we wouldn't mind as well. So a Nightveil Spectre, an Erebos, a Gray Merchant, and the only card he can take is a card that matters. It's Hero's Downfall.
And I believe that, Benjamin sequenced this very nicely, using the Lifebane Zombie when he knew he had a green creature in hand. But now he's in some trouble here.
Oh, there's Dreadbore. Make a Satyr token. Now it's time to come across for 4. Xenagos can run away with this game very quickly.
Though I'm surprised to see Dayne use a Dreadbore there on the Lifebane Zombie. It feels like the Nightveil Spectre on the way back is potentially the more troubling card because it's a 2/3 that can block a bunch of 2/2 tokens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation, right, where if you let the Lifebane Zombie live, it's just going to kill the Xenagos because upping the Xenagos doesn't really do anything.
This is true, yes. Yeah, I guess Dayne's hand is pretty much forced in that spot.
Yeah, I feel like that's the issue there. He's going to make another Satyr token. I mean, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. The Spectre is going to cause a problem, too. It's going to eat one of these Satyr tokens. 4 damage is going to continually come across. But the Spectre being a 2/3 is going to always be an issue. Looks like a Whip of Erebos was drawn. So what Reid is doing now is he's working his way towards a lot of devotion. And if he finds a 5th land, he's doing great.
Not only that, but he can sort of damage race too. He's able to get his Lifebane Zombie back. That's going to be a free 3 points of damage. Probably takes out the Xenagos as well.
There's another Satyr token. You can see Glossner's last 2 draws. They were just lands. The Llanowar Waste and the Blood Crypt. And the Blood Crypt's going to come into play tapped. And yeah, attacking now is just terrible, of course, because the Nightveil Spectre has lifelink. Did Glossner find a 5th land? The answer is yes.
And now Benjamin has all sorts of options afforded to him.
Yeah, this is bad news here for Glossner. Glossner's going to lose his Xenagos. Reid's going to gain 3 life in the process. He's going to go up to 10. Of course, that Lifebane Zombie will be exiled. It will not be in the graveyard, so we'll make sure the game state is correct there.
Can't just be looping Lifebanes out of your graveyard.
Yeah, no one would like that. Nobody would like that. There you see the powerful Whip of Erebos. Came on the scene in Magic in a big way.
I think that people initially believed they were supposed to play a lot of copies of this card. I don't think that's correct. But 1 copy somewhere in the 75 can be really powerful.
It's a very good one of. Here's a Rakdos' Return. And in most circumstances, I think this card would be very, very good. you know, taking down this Gray Merchant and the Erebos in hand, but the Whip of Erebos is actually a card that causes a problem here.
For sure, though, this is still better than the alternative, which is Dayne just dying to the cards in Benjamin's hand.
Yes.
It may not be powerful enough to get him out of this at this point.
Reid going to untap and draw. He's down to 9. But again, he can do a little bit of whip action here. Get the Gray Merchant back. Could be a drain and gain for 7. Or you can just play this Desecration Demon. And that causes a problem too for Glossner. Glossner's going to need a really good draw to get himself out of this situation.
And Dayne can't even be purely damage racing at this stage because of the whip. Any hit that Benjamin gets here drags him further and further out of the range of these tokens.
Dreadbore was the draw there for Glossner. That's a pretty good one, again, in most circumstances, but the whip is causing a lot of trouble this game. He's going to take down the Spectre. I can dig it. Playing to win.
Yep.
It's not pretty. I mean, the Spectre is causing way more trouble than the Demon.
The problem here is, even if Dayne takes a pretty aggressive line here, let's say, and pins down the Demon for a turn and attacks, Benjamin has all sorts of options on the way back.
Yep, that's the big issue.
He gets to whip back the Gray Merchant. Dayne's pretty much compelled to sacrifice again to pin down the Desecration Demon because he certainly can't let Benjamin hit him for 7.
What Dayne needs is one of his 2 Scavenging Oozes right now.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take. It looks like Glossner may not be attacking with all 3 tokens either. I think at this point you're almost priced into having attack with all 3, but only 2 are going to come across.
I guess holding a token back to block the Mutavault potentially. In the event that Benjamin rips a land, whips back a Gray Merchant or a Night Veil Spectre, and then activates the Mutavault as well.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that line personally is that I don't think you can, try to play around things at this point. Your hand is kind of forced, and you do have to probably get a little bit lucky.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you have to get a little bit lucky in the sense that you just need everything to go right at this point. Here's a whip. Gonna get back Erebos. That's live, so here's 5. So here's a situation where I don't think you have any interest in blocking, so that means you miss out on 2 points of damage.
And 2 points of damage is pretty important here, given how much the board is collapsing and how you're trying to win kind of via damage race here.
Again, it's on Ooze, and there's a land, so Mutavault didn't even have interest in coming in. It's on Scavenging Ooze right now here for Glossner.
Well, if he draws a way to kill the whip, he's potentially back in it if Benjamin misses a lot of draw steps in a row.
This is true.
But it's unlikely. I think it's Scavenging Ooze, I think you're correct, is his best hope of getting back in this game.
Mutavault's going to trade. It'll gain 2 life and then 2 damage will be dealt, so nothing happens there. There's a Sylvan Carry added. Kick the turn back, but you can tell that Glossner's in some real trouble now. Again, he's having some real difficulty overcoming the whip. And there is a Gray Merchant down there in the graveyard. We can't forget about that.
So now Dayne is in the abyss, has to sacrifice every turn to this demon.
Yep. Quick update for you guys. Peter Tragos playing black-white mid-range did tie things up against Tim Huckabee. So they're going to game number 3. If we have a chance to jump into that, we will try to. Players filing in for our Legacy Open right now. Looks like it's going to be a pretty big one.
Yeah, the room is already pretty full.
Sylvan Caryatid will get sacrificed to the Desecration Demon. Now Reid has one from the Night Veil Spectre, but he won't be able to use it. His Spectre did come back from the whip, so Spectre will go away. As a result, the Sylvan Caryatid will be gone as well. This is an attack for 2. Reid going to go back down to 10. Glossner's draw was just a stomping ground. He will put that into play taps and just pass the turn back over to Reid. And as you mentioned, he's got to control that Desecration Demon for the rest of the game. He can't take a shot from that. Looked like maybe Doomblade was the draw. Yeah, I love killing that. That means the Demon is freed up, and it's an attack for 9. Reid going to go up to 19. Glossner going to go down to 4. Glossner will draw. It's a copy of Mizium Mortars, and that is not going to do it. Benjamin Reid's going to win this match over Dayne Glossner. 2-0. Mono Black Devotion moves on. And for Reid, he's got to try to stop the Tommy Graves train.
A bit of an upset here, though. Dayne didn't really have any of his huge payoffs in the matchup. He did get to a quick Xenagos, but after that drew pretty light over the course of the game. No backup Planeswalkers, and Whip-A-Bear caused all sorts of trouble.
Well, we got one side of our bracket done. Tragos Nuckabee are in game number 3 here, so it looks like we're going to head over to Brett Jenkins and Caleb Williams next. John Walker's Red White Burn, game number 3 is where we're